Hi, Dina. Let's take a look at this new set of essays you've sent us. Let's see. The topic is some people from poor and rural backgrounds find it difficult to get a university education. Universities have to make it easier, especially for such groups, to get into them. Okay, here's what you said. Tertiary education plays an essential role in today's world. However, there are some difficulties which prevent students of underprivileged and disadvantaged regions from joining university. Personally, I strongly agree that educational institutions should help people of such conditions to join higher education by subsidizing their admission fees and building new universities in those areas. Okay, lovely. This expression here where you say admission fees, that's unclear what you mean. I don't know if you mean application fees. I don't know if you mean tuition fees. I'm not really sure what you mean here. So I would replace this with something that is clearer, like education fees or just something else, even just plain education, all right? Or by subsidizing their student fees, something, but something that's clearer than just admission fees, okay? Let's move on. To begin with, one main reason why disadvantaged students should be helped to join universities is that education is essential to improve the underprivileged areas. This is widely because when poor people gain higher education, they will probably acquire the qualities and skills required to reconstruct their hometowns. Careful with your spelling here. This is a different meaning of there. For example, if many students join the School of Engineering, there would be more engineers to develop the infrastructure of these disadvantaged places. Therefore, it is of utmost importance for universities to subsidize those poor students financially and even exempt the brightest of them from there's that word again, admission fees. If it weren't for that, it would be a lovely paragraph. Another point to consider is the importance of tertiary education for the individuals themselves. This is due to the fact that it opens the door for a huge variety of many job prospects and thus less rates, not less, lower rates of unemployment will result. For instance, most companies nowadays hire employees who hold higher academic qualifications. If people were unable to join universities, they would be more liable to, not liable, they would be more liable to be jobless, not to joblessness. Therefore, universities should be built in these areas to encourage people to gain the academic knowledge required for their employment. Okay? In conclusion, I totally believe that university education is necessary to develop the underprivileged areas and to tackle the problems of joblessness. Hence, universities should financially support poor and underprivileged students and build more educational institutions in the disadvantaged areas. Okay, it's very nice. It's very nice. Your grammar, everything is, it's like a textbook essay. Were there a couple of mistakes? Yes, but they were minor in importance. Grammar, vocabulary, coherence and cohesion, the template itself, all of those things are well controlled. Okay, so you've done a lovely job. I can see here that it's around 300 words. Let's see what it is exactly. Exactly, it's 279. Okay, so it falls short of 300 words. I have a couple of questions to ask you here, Dina. Number one, how long did this essay take you to write? The maximum I want it to take you is maybe a little under 40 minutes so that you have a couple of minutes to correct it. If it took you less than that, then I'm going to encourage you to develop it a little more. Your writing is at a level where I think you can do even more with it, and I think you can extend more and develop more and say even more things about this to really deepen the level of the discussion here on this topic. Okay? All right, now as for your arguments themselves, they were lovely, they were very nice. You said that they will reconstruct their hometowns. Okay, what I really wanted to hear from you is that and this is true, in fact, that statistically it has been shown that people return to their areas. Okay, and there is a proportion of people who return to their area to begin their career. Okay, so that was something that was missing. So you said that they would reconstruct their areas, but you didn't explain to us why that would happen. I mean, maybe somebody would be so thrilled to get out of their area that they then would move to the big city and never to return again. So I wanted you to say something a little extra about that. And this is what I mean by, well, how much time did it take you? Do you have more time to develop this a little further? because just that extra sentence would have added a little extra development to this. Another thing I want to talk to you about, Dina, is this. You said that you strongly agree, okay? So I should assume that that means that you agree 100% because that's the only thing you argued here. You only argued 100% in favor of such a measure. My question to you is this. Can you see any negative to a measure like this, making it easier for students from poor and rural backgrounds to get into university? If you think about the finite number of places that are available in university, and that some students potentially could have better grades and be more qualified to enter university, but not be from poor and rural backgrounds, do you see any problem with a rule like this? Okay, so realize that if there are 100 spaces and 10, for example, are kept for people who are from poor and rural backgrounds, what about the very qualified people who are not from those backgrounds who get shut out from those places? So this is what I'm asking you here. Could you have potentially argued the other side at all? All right, now I realize that this is a to what extent do you agree or disagree essay, but I want to tell you that there is a place for arguing the other side of the essay, especially if you were aiming for one of those higher scores, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, if you are aiming for one of those scores, in task achievement, this is not a bad thing to do, to show that you have looked at the argument a little more spherically and you can see where there is validity to both sides of the argument. Okay? That's something I want you to think about. Could you potentially have argued in favor of the other side? Because you said you strongly agree. You didn't say that you 100% agree. So I want to ask you about the side of you that potentially did not agree with this. All right? And if that was something you could have developed, it might have been something that would have created a more holistic essay here. On the whole, though, I like it. It read very easily. It was lovely. It was, like I said, it was a textbook essay. So well done. Now what we're doing, though, because I think you have mentioned to us what kind of scores you need, I want you to think about what else you can do to get your writing to the next level, okay? And that's why I'm suggesting some of these things to you. So let's take a look at your other task. Okay, so now let's look at your letter about the movie. Here's what you said. Okay, it says join him, and I see that you've said Dear Nancy. Okay, maybe they just mean him in the general sense. So let's see what you wrote. Dear Nancy, how are you doing? I miss you so much. I'm writing to tell you that I will not be able to see the Blue Elephant movie with you. This is because my grandfather has got sick and I'll have to look after her. Okay, fine. The progression of your sentences is a little strange. You've got, how are you doing? I miss you so much. And then you jump into this, I can't come see you. I felt like something else logically should have belonged here. So something like this. Hi, dear Nancy, how are you doing? I've really missed you, and I have been looking forward to our movie date tonight or next week or whatever. Unfortunately, I'm writing to tell you that I will not be able to see, etc., etc. with you. Okay, so do you see what I'm saying here? Just this extra little connection linking your points together, because it felt to me you went from point A to point C and then all of a sudden you went to point E and you skipped over C and D. And that's what I want you to avoid, okay? And I'll have to look after her. Fine. While my family and I were having lunch together, my uncle called us to say that my grandmother was transferred to hospital because of a stroke. We went in a rush to see her. Unfortunately, things have become somewhat better now. However, I'll stay with her in the hospital until she fully recovers. You don't need to come here. That's why I suggest you see the movie with my friend Sally instead of me. I'm quite sure that you'll enjoy it together, as she has always been interested in cinema. Also, she told me that she wanted to see the same film. She's such a decent and interesting girl whose company I'm sure you'll enjoy. Or she's such an interesting girl whom I am sure you will enjoy. All right, one of those would be better here. I know that you've booked the tickets for the film and you wanted us to meet, but unfortunately it can't be helped. It can't be. As soon as my grandmother gets better, I'll call you to arrange an outing. Cheers. Okay, maybe a little last closing here, like a thanks for understanding. Something like that. Yeah, like thanks for understanding. It just felt like I needed one extra step here. And again, Dina, we're talking about these extra things today because your writing is at the level that it is, and I want to give you the extra boost to push it to where you need it to go. Okay, so nicely done. Most of the grammar was excellent. The vocabulary was absolutely fine. So we're really looking at the details here. Okay, so go ahead, take these, and you've got a couple of other essays for us. So let's see them and get you moving. Okay, good luck.